last couple of months was really a special, very particular, because it's like every month your stocks, your gain is like a 10%, 15%. So it's crazy at the moment. And due to that big growth, many people are starting to worry that there could be a huge crash and we are going into the bubble and so on. Could you share what is your general thoughts about this stock market? Do you believe there's a huge bubble and there could be a big crash like year 2000, or do you believe it's still okay to hang on there? What is your opinion about general market situation at the moment?
Yeah, I look at it two angles. One angle is I believe there's always risk for a correction because it's always there. I think people don't realize even right now there's risk. It's just we aren't in touch with the risk. Like the stock market really can go down 10 or 20% or 30% in the next month for different reasons. That risk is always there. It's just most of the time it doesn't show up in the newspapers or in the websites, so we don't pay attention. But then all of a sudden, when the stock market starts to go down, all of the websites start to say everything is going down, and then only then we start to think about the risk. You go, oh, now it's going down. But the reality is, right now, the risk is there right now. And so I think it's helpful first to be in touch with it. There's always risk, even right now. The second thing is long term, I think the key is what kind of conviction do you have long term? Like, for example, I had this idea in 2010 or 2009 and 2010, the US housing market crashed. And in certain markets, it went down 70%. So for example, a $300,000 house, US dollars, went down to $100,000 or $80,000. And my wife and I, we did a tour. We visited 10 cities that had been hit by at least 70%. And after this tour of 3 weeks or so, I had a super strong conviction that all of these markets are going to come back. Because what I saw was they're great neighborhoods. Like a lot of them had good schools, great infrastructure, great housing, and it's a temporary situation. I knew that in 5 years, in 10 years, everybody will want to buy these houses again at very high prices. So I had super strong conviction in 5 or 10 years, these house prices are going to double or triple in price. And if I put down 20% down payment, then my investment can go up 10 times, in 5 or 10 years. And that's why 10 years ago, or even maybe 12 years ago, we started to buy some real estate because we had that conviction. The stock market is similar, in my opinion. If you can have conviction, so there's two ways you can have conviction. One is you can have conviction on the entire stock market. So you think the entire stock market in 10 years is going to be much higher. And I think that's actually a decent way to think about it, because one is you have a lot of technology happening. You have the computer revolution, you have the internet revolution, you have the AI revolution, and then you have many other genomics revolutions, data revolutions, so many different things happening and companies taking advantage. Internet, globalization. And you have also governments printing more and more money. And so people are trying to find safer assets like real estate and stocks that don't get, devalued by inflation. And so in 10 years, I'm very bullish on real estate, because I think it's in good markets, not all markets, but in certain good markets, because I think people will want to keep money in good real estate. And I'm also pretty bullish on the stock market, because I think it's one of the best places to put your money in companies. And so I have long-term conviction in the stock market going higher, but then I have more conviction in the best of the best companies. Like, so if I can find that 0.1% most innovative company that's growing, has the best growth prospects, and I am super convicted in that, now I have multiple levels of conviction. Like I have conviction in the company, I have conviction in the stock market, generally in the different technology changes, and I have also conviction that people will go to more safer assets as governments print more money. And so that gives me more conviction. I think my perspective is, rather than just trying to pick stocks because everyone else is picking stocks or suggesting to pick stocks, it's hard to have conviction that way. And then investing becomes like a roller coaster. Every day it's stressful, and you're worried about, am I going to be up or down? And you look at your stocks so concerned. But if you have your own conviction that is based upon different levels, then you can not worry about the volatility. Even right now with my Tesla position and other stocks, I discount the value because I discount the volatility. So I'm okay if Tesla loses 50% of its value this year. If the stock really drops 50%, I'm fine, I'm happy. Because I already understand the risk right now that that's possible. And I'm okay with it because I see the long-term potential. I really think in 5 or 10 years, the stock will be worth a lot more, than it is right now because of its potential to deliver, autonomy and batteries and cars and battery products, etc. Yeah.
In general, I would interpret you also think the stock market is in the right situation thanks to all the innovations, Industry 4.0.
Yes, definitely.
Happy to hear that. Yeah, I totally agree. I think we are getting into one of the most innovative period in the human history. We have so many different new business models coming out, and every day I feel like a stock investment is actually helping me and my wife. We talk about it a lot. Every day we learn something new. Yeah. It's amazing that the changes we are facing at the moment is so fast and so dramatic, and you feel like if I didn't really invest in US stock, you will feel like you are behind very quickly because the world is moving forward very rapidly. Yeah, so
I definitely agree. Things are happening so fast. It's sometimes hard just to keep up with all the companies, all the news, and that's a challenge. But it's also an opportunity because if somebody has the determination really to research, then they can become, I think, a great investor in today's market.
I think I have asked all the questions prepared for today's session. Do you have any general advice for our Korean investors? Because many people look up to you, that you receive so many respect among Korean investors because you not only because you were very successful, but all the investment philosophy you are sharing, the movement you are doing, the YouTube channel, the messages, everything is so respectful. So I think if you could just deliver some message to our Korean investors, especially for the beginners, that would be very helpful. Do you have any advice in general?
Sure. A few things. Number one, I love independent thinking, like thinking for yourself, researching on your own. I like your channel because you give people research kind of tools, right? To say, okay, here's some help, but still you need to make your own decision, right? And I think, that is so powerful. I think another thing is investing. I love investing because it's not just with finances, but the same principles can be applied to relationships or to your health or your emotions, to many, many different things in life. And if you can learn the power and the principles of investing, like one example is if you throw some seeds on a ground, if the ground is very fertile ground, then it should grow into a lot of plants, into a big crop, right? If you throw it onto rocky ground, it's not going to do well. But in the same way, it's about putting your time and energy into the right things, right? So you put your resources into the right company, into the right thing, and it can grow amazing. Same thing with, let's say, your children. If you can put the right time and the right way to your children, it could grow immensely, or into your relationship with your wife or your health, your health, or your happiness. And to me, I don't look at investing only as investing for finances. I look at investing as you're trying to grow things in your life, not just money, but grow relationships, grow happiness, grow health. And all these things come together. And that's what's most exciting about investing, is not just the money part. So I encourage everybody to have fun, have a great attitude, but also to look at it, with your whole life as investing.
I'm sure that people will be very inspired by your message. Thank you so much for sharing your insights today.
Charles, can I ask you
Yes.
a couple questions?